my God, no, Hoosie, you can't say that.
Jess, I'm deliberately being myself.
You mean Deliberately Us. You're listening to Deliberately Us, the podcast, and your hosts are Hoosie and Jessie.
Can we just start it?
Let's just start.
All right, perfect. Well, guys, welcome to the podcast that is currently unnamed.
The No Name podcast.
There's no name to it, so you guys are going to witness the journey of us trying to discuss a name that we should have for it. So by the time it's posted, there will be a name. Well, there should be.
Fully transparent. We've been wanting to do a podcast for 2-3 years, and we're only just getting around to it now. And the one thing that stopped us from doing this podcast was the freaking name.
Well, we actually have recorded this podcast twice before. We recorded it in 2000.
Okay, we don't need to expose ourselves.
Let's do it. We recorded this in 2020 when we bought this equipment during COVID. We're like, we're going to do podcasting. And we didn't release it. Then we did it again in 2001. And once again, we didn't release it.
Whose fault is that?
And here we are now. And this one is being released because I've painted the wall.
This is like a track record for this is becoming a habit of yours. So Hoosie and I met and I hit him up to help me do a promo video, and 6 years on, I'm still waiting for the promo video. You filmed it. Where is it? So where's the other two podcasts?
Honey, I've done some much more amazing things than that shitty video. As if you'd want to show that to the people now. Yeah, it's
okay. So back to what we're talking about. What's the name? Oh, let's listen to this freaking name that he wanted. He wanted eavesdropping. How disgusting is that?
I still stand by that. No, is eavesdropping not a good one?
Ear is gross.
Eavesdropping with Hoosie and Jess.
But doesn't that just imagine the cover photo, a big illustration of someone's ear. Ew.
Exactly.
Nah, no bloody way.
I think eavesdropping would be nice. Okay, well let's come up with a name then. Actually, should we work our way into the name or no?
Even our other businesses. Okay, Flow and Shames came pretty fast, but Propsy Land, we started our own prop business because we're content creators and etc. etc. But we started making our own blocks and cool shapes, and it literally took us what do you reckon? 12 months?
For what?
To create the name.
Honey, do you realize how indecisive we are? We can't even figure out what we want for dinner.
Yeah, that's very
true.
What are we having for dinner?
We're not.
Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Back to the name. So right now, what's the options? What are the options?
Well, Big Time Maybe was one that we floated around.
I still stand by that. I need to get used to the sayings. I still stand by that. Big Time Maybe. Imagine that. Welcome to Big Time Maybe. Isn't that a good voice? Doesn't that sound good? Big Time Maybe. You could be big time, maybe. Maybe not. Okay, that was a shit idea.
What was that reporter voice you just done there?
Oh, I've been practicing.
What about...
Actually, do you want to know something?
Yeah,
so, I've been watching TikTok. Of course I have. And there's this chick
Are you going to talk about how you're TikTok famous or something?
I'm not TikTok famous. I did have a viral video recently, but that's fine. Anywho, I get onto this chick and she teaches you how to do the news reporter voice. Do you want me to do one for you?
Sure.
Two young gentlemen of the age 25. No, I can't do it. That actually started off pretty good, hey. You got to do it in the back of your throat. So there was a gentleman of the name Huzaifa Koya in
You don't need to be putting out my full name.
Huzaifa Koya, and he is struggling to create a podcast voice. Nah, okay. Look, I'll stick to my day job. I'll stay behind the camera.
What have you come as?
What have you come as? That's a good one.
Because we always say that to each other.
What have you come as?
Jessie got changed before the podcast, but she was dressed as Papa Smurf before.
Why?
Because you're wearing blue on blue.
How rude. What have you come as, an LSKD affiliate fucking influencer?
I wish.
In your shirt.
Is it not owned?
What have you come? Are you going to rob a bank? Why are you in...
What do you mean?
Hoosie's like The Simpsons. He literally wears the same outfit every single day. He's actually upgraded. So he's gone from $3 Kmart shirts, still like them though, $3 Kmart shirts to LSKD.
But yeah, I am like a cartoon character.
But
I just
to be
dress
fair,
exactly the same every day.
The LSKD fabric, it's next level, isn't it?
It is.
I've actually converted. Yeah. I'm on the LSKD, not right now, but I do like it.
They're brilliant. I love their clothes thing.
I actually really like the name.
It covers the swole.
What have you come as?
What have you come as?
You have to say in the voice. It can't be what have you come as? It's got to be what have you come as?
What have you come as?
I actually really like that. But what's
Maybe
it got to do with anything?
Well, nothing.
I guess the podcast actually has no purpose. Like, we're literally just going to be talking about everything and anything.
Okay, yeah, we should probably talk about why we started a podcast and what it's going to encompass.
Well, you tell me. I actually have no idea.
Well, I've been mad on podcasts for a very long time now, haven't I?
Excuse me, I'm just having a sip of coffee. I've been waiting for this for like 2 hours. Sorry, what'd you say?
Sip away. Go on.
I'm actually scared. I'm wearing white. I should not do that.
That's a Yeti cup. That will never leak. Tip it upside down. Go. It won't leak.
I beg to differ.
They don't leak.
It's not. Nothing is Jessie proof. I'm telling you right now.
True.
Nothing.
But anyways, I've been mad on podcasts for a very long time, and I've wanted to start this with you for a long time, and you've just, always had a problem with something.
Me?
So now that it's all set up, it's good. But
Me?
I just like
Me have a problem.
What are you, Irish? But I like podcasts because it's like you get a different perspective on so many different topics, and it challenges your ideology on something as well, and makes you rethink stuff. And also,
I tell you why you want to do a podcast, because you don't shut the fuck up.
And I like the sound of my own voice.
This is like my tactic to wear you out. You know how like parents take their kids to the park just to wear them out. So when they get home, they're like really quiet. They want to watch a movie, maybe like go play in the playroom. They're just tired and like don't make much noise. That's literally what I'm doing right now. I'm letting you get it all out because you yep.
This is my dog park.
This is your dog park.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. But see, you made me lose my train of thought, man. I was going on to something.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But what I was going to say is, in a time before iPads and Netflix, what was like the coolest thing ever? It was when your parents or your older siblings used to tell you stories.
Oh, I was going to say listening to the radio.
What?
Yeah,
as
like
a kid,
my
you
nan
listened to the
still
radio,
cranks the radio.
But as a child, you looked forward to listening to the radio.
Oh, absolutely not.
Exactly.
No.
But like story time was so much fun, and this is like grown-up story time.
Yeah, that's
and
very
that's why
true.
I wanted to do it, because we have a lot of stories to tell. So we're just going to tell a whole bunch of stories, talk a little bit about our work if you guys want to hear it, and eventually get on like guests here and have like really interesting conversations and, hear their perspectives on whatever we want to discuss.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's why we started a podcast, right?
So literally no purpose at all. But just
is that the name of the podcast?
No purpose. Ooh, that's another one.
Isn't that a Justin Bieber tour?
No purpose. Okay, I just want to make a disclaimer. I'm a huge Kath and Kim fan, and my vocabulary literally matches them. Like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I never says that," and then people are like, "Oh, it says." Like,
yeah. You're dumb.
Anyways, that's what I meant by like none purpose. Like I know that it's no.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to put that out there so people don't think I'm dumb.
Why did you want to start the podcast?
I literally just told you. You're a dog park.
To wear me out?
Yeah.
You're doing this purely just to wear me out?
Yeah.
So you ain't got to listen to me when it's not on the air. Actually, on the drive here, we were having conversations and I was like, don't talk to me until it's the air. So this is like a good plan for you.
But there's another name for you. Don't talk to me until we're on the podcast.
That's so long.
Don't talk until we're on the podcast. No talking till we're on... Nah, it's too long. No.
I'm talking here.
No.
Does that go really loud when I say? Oh,
no.
Play with the audio.
I'm talking here. You got that because I've been walking around doing a New Jersey accent. I really like doing silly voices.
It's because we watched Babylon and you like Margot Robbie.
Oh, I love her. She's so stunning. But I saw an interview of where she was like, someone asked her, how'd you get like your New Jersey accent? And she was like, well, just picture that you're in a nail salon. Put your hands out. And then she was like, so you start talking like that. You put your hands out and say, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to her.
I saw that.
I can't. Oh, I just hit my tooth. That's dangerous. That is very dangerous. But now I can't stop doing it. So I'm like, you're a dog. We're a dog. We got dogs. We're drinking the coffee. We're going to get our nails done. And your ma doesn't like Johnny down the street, but she wants to go get her nails done. Now I've lost it.
Yeah, you lost it big time.
Anywho, we'll work on that.
People also... That's the lamp for the podcast. Why'd you put it over there?
Because you couldn't see it. Plus, it looks really cute in that corner.
You can't just buy things, claim it as like this business expense or something. Actually, I guess it is still in the studio.
It's still in the studio.
Yeah. And also the podcast is purely just for leisure, isn't it?
For the viewers that are like watching this rather than just listening, what do you think of the space? Like,
Oh yeah, we should probably say that for the people that are just listening. There is a video version of this on YouTube as well,
And Reels. And probably
Reels.
TikToks.
and yeah, TikToks.
We're just across all the platforms. But, okay, so we had a bit of a dilemma. Hoosie and I, we just like to debate everything. That is our life.
No, we don't.
Oh, see. So I wanted the walls pink because I just think pink's like a great colour. People will like stop and look at it. But he's like, no, Jess, we need some boy colours. How sexist of you.
I don't sound like that.
Yeah, anywho. So we compromised, painted
toxic
majority of the
masculinity.
wall pink, and we have a splash of green. And I must say,
I
my
got a
side,
triangle.
my
You gave me a triangle.
well, you enjoy your triangle, but I do think my side looks better being the pure pink. But like whatever.
You
Anywho,
got that nice green light. That's why.
yeah. Well, like I think my side's really beautiful. However, I do think we need some artwork going on in here.
I agree.
We'll jazz it.
Yeah,
We'll
jazz
jazz
it
it
up.
up. It'll be a work in progress. So I guess you guys will be along for the journey with that.
Uncensored. That was
No,
another
there
name.
was-
Uncensored.
Absolutely, people with a podcast called Uncensored, as if that name's not
But
already taken.
they don't have uncensored with Hoosie and Jess.
Well, then we could have any name that we wanted if we were going to add with Hoosie and Jess.
If it was just with Jess, then no, because Jess is a common name. But my name gets us above the
Oh,
board.
because you're so rare. You actually are rare.
Oh, thanks, Star.
You're one of a kind, honey.
That's so sweet.
Can you stop flirting with me on camera?
I don't know how to flirt. So for the people who are like just stumbled across us on TikTok and Reels, they probably want to know who we are and what we do.
All right, take it away.
So should we start with that,
Yep.
build on that, get that out the way, and then
Reverse back onto the reverse. I don't know my words right now. We'll come back to the name. We need to find out a name.
we're not
before
leaving
today.
this podcast till the name.
I think we're
okay?
going to run
We're
out
not-
of SD storage by the
No.
time we've found a name.
We'll get a name, but that way it's out the way. Everyone kind of
Out the way.
out the way
Nah.
with Hoosie and Jess.
Stop touching your stand. It makes me touch it. I see you moving yours and then I want to move mine. And it's all clunky. People
Are
don't
you
need to
a
hear that.
child? What I do, you have to do.
Yes, monkey see, monkey do. You kind of look like a little bit of a monkey.
That's
No, it's not. Don't go
I
there.
didn't say it. I
It is
didn't
absolutely
say it.
not. I think
I
you're
didn't
very
say it.
cute.
I didn't say it. Well, yes, I'd hope you would think that.
I do think you're very cute.
Is my audio very loud?
No, I think I'm just really loud.
So, we are the owners, founders of Florence James Collective, which is a production company based here in Brisbane, specializing in photography and videography. Yes, correct? That's
Yes.
one part of our jobs. And we also are the founders of Propsyland, which is like a photography prop business.
Nah, you just put us in a hole. It's not just photography. It's a
Oh.
prop and backdrop business, but it also can be like cool objects for retail display, home decor, kids' room, whatever you want, really. But they're just like really cool shapes and blocks.
Exactly. And
Insert photo here of what it is. It's very cute. Very cute. It stresses us out. Well, it stresses me out.
yeah, a lot of overheads in it.
Who would have known that cute props would send people grey? Anywho, so they're the two
Send us
businesses.
grey.
No, we don't need to
Okay.
point a spotlight at my grey hair because you don't even have any.
I have hair.
You have no greys.
Oh, yeah. You
You
gotta
had
be careful
one.
with that.
And then also we own Florence James Studios.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's us.
So the progression was we started off with Florence James Collective. That was about 6 years ago.
Remember when it was called Florence James Photography?
Yeah, I know.
So cringe. Oh, we
That's
could
only
start-
one word that we changed.
Yeah, but like just so amateur back then.
But anyways, that's how we started 6 years ago. We built that up. It took a very long time to build up, right?
Although we've had a good run.
It was a good. It was but
We've
it was
had a great
challenging.
time.
It was really challenging.
We had some pretty cool opportunities at the start. Like I worked for Uber Eats doing. I'm not a driver. Nothing wrong with that. We did actually do that at some point, but
Yeah.
I did the Gold Coast and Brisbane photography for the restaurants, and that's actually how I met Hoosie at a restaurant. I don't usually pick up the clients, by the way.
Not anymore.
No, well, nah. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I
So
will shut this down.
we did Uber Eats. We did Deliveroo at the very beginning, and then we worked for who else? Did we work for?
RFG,
Yeah,
which
so
was
we
like
did-
our big transition, and
Did
then,
Donut King and Gloria Jean's menu
but
boards.
that was slow. Like we did
Yeah.
Uber Eats for so long, and we didn't have time to do anything else.
We didn't
And
really
we
start
wanted to expand it, remember? And then we were like, we sent the email. Remember, we were in my mum's lounge room, and we sent the email to Uber Eats saying, "Hey, we're not going to do it anymore," and we wanted to move to Melbourne to get bigger clients.
Yeah. Well, we
How did
wanted
that
just to
end up?
be like food photographers.
Yeah.
So that's where like the goal was, because I really enjoy doing food. But then we moved to Melbourne because we were like, oh, like food city, like this is where it is. Maybe that didn't really work out, did it?
It didn't work out. We came back with we drove up there with all our stuff. We sold most of our shit and then just our photography gear and clothes. Drove up there, which took like
Drove down, honey.
Huh?
Drove down there. Let's get it right.
We drove down there. It took like what, a week? We
Yeah,
stopped
because
over
like
and
we
stuff.
stopped over and saw Nan.
Exactly.
Good old Desiree.
And then as soon as we got to Melbourne, we were staying with my cousin, and within 24 hours, we had some family problems back,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Your brother wasn't well, so
Yeah.
then we flew back.
That morning, we didn't
That-
even sleep.
We flew back that morning after like a 10-hour drive. That final leg was 10 hours. Flew back, dealt with all that. Your brother wasn't getting better, so then I flew back to Melbourne to like do house inspections and
Yeah.
stuff for us, right? And so then I was there for a couple of days looking for a place, and
Like the most miserable time ever. Us being apart. We hadn't been apart since we met.
yeah, I know.
You being in Melbourne. We were
By
so
myself.
sad, hey.
Yeah. And we was just looking for like a place to stay and stuff like that. Well, I was with my cousin, but like, I mean, we were looking for a place for ourselves. And then came back to Gold Coast.
Mind you, our car was still there the whole time.
Car was still in Melbourne, but we went back to Gold Coast and then eventually decided, look, it's probably not going to happen right now. Family comes first. Then we flew back to Melbourne and drove the car all the way back to the Gold Coast.
Great road trip.
With now we're back on the Gold Coast and we don't have Uber Eats, which was our main contract. We had nothing. We were just purely freelancing. We were just
We didn't even have freelance clients though. So like we literally
we
came
were doing
back.
free work.
Yeah,
lot of
well,
free work.
we started from like pretty much scratch again. So we actually printed off some business cards. They were so ugly. I don't know why anyone. See, this is why no one considered us, because they were so ugly. Anyways, Hoosie would take these business cards around to restaurants and like drop them off. Like, hey, do you need like food photography? Like we're
Yeah.
food photographers. And no one took a bait to it.
But then we started doing free stuff for people, and that kind of built a bit of traction. Then they'd be like, "Oh, can you like?" It was like a few $100s here and there. They'd be like, "Oh, we'll give you like a couple $100s to do another video or another photo shoot."
Well, I actually posted on, it was like Gold Coast Girls in Business or something. Hey, like, I just want to build my portfolio. Do
Yeah.
people want to give me their products and I'll take photos of it? The photos were trash. I feel so sorry for those people now. But, like, I just wanted to have a go.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we started getting a little bit of momentum from that. However, it wasn't because of that we got a break with RFG. Remember when?
No.
So
it
you
was-
had dropped off a business card to a place called Social Eating House.
Well, hold on. We're getting too ahead of
oh,
ourselves. isn't
sorry.
it? So remember this part of the story. Put that in the back of your brain. We'll come back to it. That we dropped off business cards, right? But in the meantime, we were living with your mum,
Yeah.
your mum, my mum, in between there, just working out of one room with one desk, and both of us sharing that one desk, and we just had absolutely $0. So we started. I went and did some odd jobs, didn't I? I went and worked at a.
No, you couldn't get a job for ages.
I couldn't get a job either. I don't know why though.
Maybe it was just like fate. Like, nah,
Right,
it was
yeah.
like life was like, no, you can't get another job and get sidetracked.
Actually, no, I did get a job. I got a job at Roger David.
Oh,
Roger David and Jesse
Nah.
made me quit. Well,
no,
I make
you're a
me
little
quit.
bit too far ahead there. We've skipped
have
a
I?
whole
Have I
chunk
skipped
of
a
time.
chapter?
Yes.
Okay, well, before Roger David, I was working at a production line packing fertilizer, 20 kilo bags of fertilizer. Then from there, I did some landscaping where I cut the grass at Emerald Lakes Golf Course, if you guys know where that is. And then I started
The guy
working.
actually asked him, "Oh, you didn't fall in today?"
Yeah, into the lake. And then I went to Roger David.
Yeah. Do you want to tell them what happened with Roger David?
What? What happened?
So the manager was cracking on to him.
No, she
Hughesy
wasn't.
had this beautiful long hair. I was digging his long hair. You could put it in like a
Say more.
ponytail.
Keep
He
going.
just looked friggin' hot.
Oh, yeah.
He was growing his beard.
Yes, I was.
He had the long hair. He just looked stunning. He looked like he could have been a model.
Honey.
I'm
thanks
just
for that.
saying all this because we're on camera. No.
Alright, go.
No, he looked really good with his long hair, and it had taken quite a while to get it. Anyways, so he goes for the job interview, yada yada, and then goes for his first day at work. And he comes home, and for some reason, my boyfriend with beautiful long hair now has fucking short hair and looks like a different human. I was like, what happened? What the hell? And he was like, oh, my manager made me go get a haircut. Like, she took me out of the store like halfway through and was like, come on, Hoosie, like, let's go get a haircut for you. Like, I know the guy. I was ready to kill a bitch.
What do you mean? I needed a job, innit?
She did. Okay, you needed a job, not a haircut. Who
thought-
discriminates against a haircut? You looked beautiful and you had it tied back like you looked stunning. She hired you with that hair. She should have said something before you even got the job.
And then what happened?
And then what happened? So she was dressing you. Like, fair enough, you had to wear the
I
Roger
was in fashion, Jess.
No. But fair enough, you had to be in like the Roger David clothes. But like,
Okay, yep.
shouldn't you be serving customers rather than playing fucking dress ups in the wardrobes? And then
She wasn't like, it wasn't like she was in there with me. Don't be weird about it.
Well, okay. I think you're just such a nice person. There'd be no way for you to say no. Like, I'm not sus on you. I totally feel like she was like cracking on a little bit. I sound so jealous right now. I'm not.
Yeah.
But like, I just feel like you're such a nice person that you just didn't want to say no. But like, who the fuck? There should be only one woman, actually, sorry, 2 women in the world that can tell you to get a haircut. Your mother and me.
Okay, very good.
Shireen, you're welcome.
And then she would send photos as well.
Yeah, so she would send photos of herself in a group chat with him and this other guy, just saying like, oh, how does this look on me? Like her
Again,
outfit.
fashion.
I'm sorry,
Fashion.
love. You're not even wearing the Roger David. She's in a fucking Supre tight dress. Nothing against Supre. I love Supre. But like, she's in this really tight dress and she's asking these 2 boys how she looks. I'm like, that's just a bit weird. That's weird.
I don't think it's weird. It's fine. It's the Gold Coast. What do you
So you're going to disagree with me?
No. I agree with you completely.
Anywho, I wasn't fond of it. I was like, you know what? Like, this is a bit weird. And she'd like text Hoosie like after hours. Anyways, I was like, Hoosie, I don't want you to go. I don't want you to go.
And then she made me quit.
Did you want to quit?
Yeah,
Or did I make you quit?
No, but yeah, no, I wanted.
no,
to
let's
quit.
be
I
honest
wanted
with
to
it.
quit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I quit, and then
And then
she just followed up.
And then
as a
this
manager.
chick literally begged for you to go back. She
Well, I was good at my
begged.
job. I was great.
You were there
Sales were
for
through the
one
roof.
day and
Yep.
you spent half the time playing dress ups and,
the
getting a
other half,
haircut.
I made sales.
Did you
Sale.
actually?
No, I didn't.
I don't know. We'll let them decide. If I'm just being jealous, it sounds like I'm being jealous, but it was just weird.
Anyways, so that happened, right?
There was that job, yeah.
There was that job, and then I was working as a offsider, so I got my trucking license and all that stuff, but was working as an offsider,
Can we
delivering
just
like
insert?
fridges and stuff like that.
I wasn't just at home on my bottom. I was
No,
trying to work on the business.
I was getting to that. We decided one person should go out, get a job, and just at least get money coming in so we could actually like do shit, and the other person work on the business. So we both played our part. Jesse was that whole time working on the business, while I was slaving away. Just joking.
Oh. Didn't you build trolleys? Did you already say that?
Oh no, I didn't tell them this. I also built trolleys and stuff for a little while.
And didn't you like have to pack bricks or something?
Bricks.
By the way, this was through an
Oh,
agent,
yeah.
so he didn't just get all of these jobs. The agent would send him to jobs.
The brick one was fucked because
Did
that
you walk
was
out?
no. I walked out of the trolley one
Oh, right.
because it was like
Be hard,
I hit
yakka.
my head on the
honey.
shipping container, like
Yeah.
on the top, and the supervisor like started laughing at me. And I turned around. I was like, "You want to fucking?" Anyways, so then they kind of sent me home actually after that.
Wow. But you
but
worked on the off-siding job for quite
That
a while.
was quite a while, and that wasn't a bad job. It was hard, but it wasn't. Oh,
But
it
then
was alright.
you were like, oh, I may as well get like my forklift license and my HR license and my
Yeah.
white card. You literally have all these licenses and you've never used
I'm
them.
the most qualified videographer ever. And then all while that was happening, so I was working, doing the off-siting job, and we ended up picking up one of the clients. So that card that I gave around as a business card, the shitty one, one of them actually took the bait and got us in to do photos. It was one of our clients.
Social eating house.
Social eating house down on the Gold Coast, great restaurant. And we started doing, photos for them. We did maybe like 2 or 3 shoots, right,
Yeah.
at that point for them.
And then the plot thickens.
And
So-
then we were going in for a nighttime shoot, and I got a phone call.
No, it wasn't a nighttime shoot. Get the story right.
It was a nighttime
No,
shoot.
I promise you. I promise you. We had a missed call from like a random number, and Hoosie was like, because we were going to a photo shoot at Social Eating House again. It was of a morning. I remember. He was like, Jess, you go in and say hi, start setting up. I'll just quickly call this number back.
Yep.
And it was Tim. So Tim was Social Eating House's graphic designer. He was doing their website.
We didn't know him at the time.
Yeah, we didn't know him. And he was doing their website and saw our work and then saw our Instagram. So he's calling up Hoosie and he's like, hey, like I really like your work. I have a photo shoot coming up with this brand that I've started working with. It's RFG. They run everything from Donut King, Gloria Jeans, Michelle's, Brumbies, etc., etc. We want to hire you guys for a full day and a half day. We just want to see what your rates are. And Hoosie was like, oh, yeah, cool. Like, what do you need? Blah, blah, blah. And, yep, cool. We'll give you a quote later this afternoon. We'll just start a photo shoot. And he's like, yeah, no worries. Cool. All right. I'll wait to hear from you. Anyways, Hoosie comes in and tells me. And I was like, what the fuck? What do you mean? And like Donut King and Gloria Jeans. Like, oh, my God. Like, we were so excited. But then, so we did our photo shoot at Social Eating House.
We like, at the time, our rates were very low.
Oh, we were charging what, like $250 or something?
Yeah, something like that. And our caveat was, to that point, was Donut King and RFG, they're inquiring. We can't charge them $200. They'll laugh us out the door.
So when we were in the car after we left the photo shoot at Social Eating House, we were like, what the hell are we going to charge these people? Like, we had no idea. So we were like Googling like commercial rates. What do people charge for full day, half day? We were like, fuck, what are we going to do? And we had just listened to whether it was like a podcast or some sort of video of this guy talking about
the Nike logo?
Yeah, how much he charged for Nike. And he's like, charge by the client. There's no way that Nike's going to pay like a couple of grand for a logo. They're going to be paying 50 grand upwards of a logo. Like they're going to laugh at you if you're going to go in and be like, hey, yeah, this logo is going to cost $200. Like they don't want to pay that. They want to pay big money. Why do they want to pay big money, Hoosie? Because it's a tax write-off.
Well, that's one of the reasons, but also it's just like builds to your credibility,
Exactly.
right? If you're in business for a very long time, you're going to get to a point where you've expanded, you've got overheads, and you've got to build all of that into the cost. And they want to work with like a pretty an established business, so they know the transaction's going to be smooth.
Yeah. And it just,
One of the
I
reasons.
think it just shows that if you're too cheap, you just seem like a rookie.
Exactly.
Anywho, so we were like, okay, what are we going to charge them? And we were like going back and forth. Like, even at the quote that we gave them, like the actual template was so basic. Like, it was so shit.
But we charged them what we thought was like, for us, it was a lot. And we sent it through, and they were just like, without a hiccup, they're like, yeah, no, that's fine. That's all good.
Should we just say?
Yeah, it was like $2,000.
So the photo shoot that we had just come from Social Eating House was like $250. And then when
1,800, and we charged.
No, the half day rate was $2,000, and then the full day rate was $3,500. And they were like, "Yep, sweet."
Yeah, but for the amount of work that was involved, looking back at it, that was definitely. Oh no, it was good. It was. All right, sorry about that, guys. Cameras just defaulted. You would think running a production company, we would know what we're doing, right?
You'd think.
You'd think. But let's pick up that story where we left off. So Jessie got her numbers maybe a little bit wrong, but if you are watching this on YouTube Shorts or just YouTube in general or Reels or something, we'll actually put up our quote. That might be fun.
I think that would be really fun.
If we can find it, we'll put up the quote so you guys can see what we actually charge for that shoot. But that was our break. Like that was huge for us, and they really must have liked us after the first shoot, or Tim must have liked us. We love you, Tim, now as well.
Tim's like one of our besties now.
Yeah.
He's such a bitch. No. Oh.
We'll have to get him on one day. But they started pumping out a bunch of shoots, and we were probably doing like on average one every fortnight at least, or
No
two
way.
a week. Oh,
We got off to 3 to 4 shoots a week with them.
So we started off with like Gloria Jeans, but RFG under their banner they have like Donut King and
Brumbies
and Michelle's Patisserie, and they're all under the one roof. So all the brand managers see the content that Gloria Jeans provides, and they like go, "Oh, can we use that for?" And then they all started using us, really, right?
Yeah, we were with them for what, like 1 or 2 years?
For quite a while.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, and yeah, just a great opportunity for us. Are we interrupting something here?
No, I apologize. Sorry.
So great opportunity. However, the big C rolled around.
But that went for about a year, that opportunity.
No, I think 1 or 2 years.
1.5. It was like 2019, because remember we went on that cruise in 2019 with Tim and Jess.
Yeah.
But that kind of allowed me to stop working as an offsider, and we fully just went, shit, yeah, Florence James Collective, Moneymaker, sweet, we're doing fine now.
Yeah. We had just like a big client under our belt, and it was enough for us to be like, yep, okay, we can do this.
The double-edged sword to that was, because they were so massive, they required so much of our time that we couldn't really take on many other freelance clients. So we kind of had all our eggs in one basket, and we will do a video later on why you should never do that as a content creator. But yeah, we had all our eggs in one basket, and then COVID.
Well, okay.
Decided to stomp through.
So, I feel like we're skipping parts of the story. So what did we do?
If we do a full story, it's going to be like...
Oh, it's going to be just too long. Okay, I'll just quickly insert a few notes here. We were living on the Gold Coast. Then we ended up moving to Brisbane because Who's is actually doing uni as well. And he was travelling to Brisbane constantly. Sorry, just put that out there.
No, it's fine.
So we ended up moving to Brisbane, and we were just traveling down for the photo shoots and stuff. And then we ended up moving to another place, and then COVID hit.
Yeah, and then when COVID hit, I remember like we were shooting for Brumbies, and we're in that training room, and I remember talking with the team. Remember, we were like, "Oh, is this going to like affect the shoots next week?" And they were like, "Nah, it should be fine. Oh, it'll be fine." And if it does, it might just be a week or two. And then next week comes around,
Boom.
and every one of those shoots, I think there was like 3 scheduled, and they were just all cancelled. And they were like, "We don't know when we're coming back." And we're like, "COVID surely can't be around for that long."
Yeah.
It's a, cough and sneeze. Boy, were we wrong. A few weeks went on to be like 6 weeks, right? And 6 weeks of like no income, no nothing. We couldn't even get Job Seeker at the time, which was government assistance in Australia. We could, but it took a very long time as a business owner to get all the paperwork across. So in the meantime, I was like, fuck.
It was like pitter-patter, pitter-patter. That's fucking scary. Can we just pause for 2 seconds? Just want to put the aircon back on.
Yeah, go for it. But during that time, once again, we found ourselves in a tight spot because we actually decided to take on some luxuries. We were making the bank. Well, not luxuries, but we wanted to expand. So we wanted to get a bigger space for where we were going to do our studio work. So we moved into a new place in Brisbane, which is the place that we're still in, but now we just live in it because we're in another studio now. But that was our first studio, and it was huge for us, right?
No, but we were shitting ourselves because we didn't know how we were going to pay for it.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, it was massive, like the space from where we progressed to, right?
We went from sharing a desk and doing our shoots on like the veranda
to our to the veranda at our second unit in Brisbane, and then like we moved into the big place, and then the bigger place.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit, so
people are going to be like, this story is all over the place.
Yeah, but basically we didn't know how to pay for it.
Yeah,
because
so
our big client went, and we had no other clients once again, and
Then
I decided to work at a butcher shop.
we went back to Who's He Going to get a job, and I'd stay and work on the business, and try and get some clients and stuff. So my sister runs like a super butcher, and she was like, "Who's he? Like, times are tough. How about you come and work for us?" He was like, "Fuck yeah, yep, got this. I'm gonna go work with the fam." So my sister worked there, my mum, my brother-in-law. Yeah, there was heaps of people that he knew. So he was like quite comfortable to go do this job. Meanwhile, I'm at home working on FJC. But that didn't last too long, did it?
It didn't last long. Maybe that'll be a story we'll tell another day as to what happened there. But the main part of it was my accountant, once he started doing the job seeker and stuff, which is the government payment, he was like, "What are you doing? You're like you guys have this business, you're going to get government assistance, but they won't give it if you're still employed." So he was basically saying like,
stop working, you're
going to pay it all back in tax, figure out your business, which is what we did. And that was the time when we were like, you know what, food and bev, that's where we came from, shooting restaurants, but fuck me, like, is this COVID thing ever going away?
And like hospitality restaurants, there was like no light at the end of the tunnel. They had no idea when they would be able to reopen. So no one was spending money on like their marketing and advertisement content. So we were like, okay, let's pivot like everyone else. And we started really focusing on doing product photography. I grabbed a few products and started like just playing around and started posting on social media. And then, do you remember? So I put up a post on Instagram. Was it like, I said half price product photography packages.
Oh, yeah.
And we had so many I actually put it on an ad as well. We had so many people inquire with us. And because I had packages at the time, they could see the price and exactly what they were going to get. So many people wanted to jump on. And we were like, what the hell? We had so much work. And I think because other businesses were trying to pivot to, everyone was going online. Everyone wanted to get their business on websites, Instagram. They wanted to get it out there posting because they were trying to make money in other ways too.
Well, we were completely disconnected. We didn't realize that during COVID, e-com blew up. Like e-com businesses were doing great, and then we had this half price deal, and our skills had progressed so much because of working with a big client like RFG. Like we were forced to learn, and get way better. So our skills were at a level at the perfect time. Like at a good level at the perfect time where we could take on all these clients. And then it just progressed from there. And we were
actually like really fortunate. Like after that struggle period of like, shit, what the hell are we going to do? We got so lucky with COVID, as in like we were in high demand because of how many people were going online.
Exactly. And like having the space that we did at that point as well was amazing, because we could have multiple setups, and we were like pumping out shoots. Like quite a bit.
We were pumping the shoots out. However, I was looking at the photo shoots while I was eating dinner. Like we were living and working in the same space.
That became the problem, living and working in the same space. Like we would be having dinner and you could look at work, or the house would be a mess because we were doing splash shots and stuff like that. And like, it's 9 o'clock at night, and because it's your house, you feel like you have to clean it up right then and there. So it was just, it was good while it lasted. It lasted for about 2 years, right? We were there, and we just eventually got to a point where we were like, you know what, we're ready to take the next jump. Let's start looking at some actual studio spaces. And boy, was that fucking terrifying. That is still terrifying.
Well, we started looking. There was a few reasons why we started looking at studio spaces. It was because
Propsyland, right?
First of all, we were working on creating our own e-commerce business, and I think what sparked us to want to do an e-commerce business is because we were seeing how well our clients were doing. Our clients were literally making bank on e-com.
But also, we saw a gap in the market for like what we wanted to do. We wanted to do props, and shipping times were a nightmare. You didn't really get the quality that we wanted. Backdrops were a nightmare. So then we're like, maybe we can give it a crack.
I knew that I would use them, and I knew a lot of other photographers followed us on social media. So I was like, they've got to want to use them. They're definitely going to love them. So we started we found a manufacturer. We started getting these props ready. Anyways, this was like a huge time frame of like work. It was a lot of waiting, a lot of months. Anyways, it got to the point where we were like, yep, we're doing this. We loved the samples. We found an agent, and we were like, okay, well, we have a container full of props coming over.
Where are they going?
Where are all these props going to go? They're not going to fit in our lounge room. So we were like, okay, well, we need to find somewhere. Plus, we also wanted to find somewhere for us to actually work at, because I was so sick of looking at the light stands from my bedroom window.
And this was a time when like things started to get back to normal as well. So we were like, oh shit, yeah. And like that final order, we paid the deposit for them to do the mass order. And so we really felt the pressure. Holy shit, we need a space. And then we found, we looked at a few spaces that were like trash and they were so expensive. And then we found this space, which is so close to home, close to the city. Way bigger than the other places it was a reasonable enough price.
Also, we had our first staff member in that time too.
And we had our first staff member as well, yeah.
I just really wanted somewhere for us to go to work. That way it wasn't always just like
coming to my
house and like, I want to have a sleep in today. It should be out there working. So it was just like, we both thought this was the next step. Like, how are we going to keep progressing? We need a space. And also, we also thought, like, the studio could be hired out. So we were like, okay, cool.
Yeah, another revenue stream.
Another revenue.
And there was just there was so much upside to it. And still to this day, I see the upside in it. We see it, we're a year into this, we're like a year into being into the studio.
1 month away from being.
1 month away from being a full year. No, like February 1 was when the lease started.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're one day.
Oh, and we had COVID.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. So we found the space, we started negotiating the terms with our lawyers and stuff like that, and then we get COVID, and we're like, shit.
We went to a super spreader wedding.
Yeah, we did. So we're signing the agreements, like we were pretty crook the first few days, and those were the days when a lot of the negotiating happened, and we're just so glad we had such good solicitors. They pretty much took care of a lot of things, even getting the contracts delivered to our front door and then getting someone to pick it up from our front doors. They did all of that, which was amazing. But the timing was supposed to be perfect. Propsyland stock was going to come in March, I think it was.
Well, it kept getting delayed.
February. Yeah, but then, oh, sorry guys, we got another outbreak over here. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And then, it got delayed another fucking 6 months, and we got it in November.
Yeah. From something that was meant to be at the start of the year, we had timed it perfectly with the studio. We got it in October.
But
and then there was a bit of a delay when we actually launched because we needed to get photos, all that kind of stuff. But
basically, we took on all the overheads of this new place, which we budgeted for with Propsyland, and it was like poor old Florence James just had to take the hit.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, that's all in the past. The story is, it's quite a wild one, but we're so blessed, so fortunate, and yes, we worked really hard, but you got to take into consideration that there's always luck. Like, we were so lucky. Me and you did this.
I don't think I was lucky. I think I friggin' worked my ass off.
You did work really hard. We both worked hard, but there's always a factor of luck.
Yeah.
I think there is, and I think we just got to count our blessings. We're a year into the studio, and it's honestly been like, last year was probably one of the best years ever, I reckon.
It was really cool. The studio actually opened up many opportunities for us. We were able to take on like bigger projects. We've lost a light. Dum, dum, dum.
Keep going.
We're able to take on like bigger opportunities. We welcomed so many people into the studio. We had people hiring it. There's some pretty cool things happening down in that space. We've done heaps of renovations. We've hired a new staff member. There's lots happening, and it's a really cool space to like come to work to.
Absolutely. But like, honestly, I think, did you just say this about meeting new people?
Meeting new people.
The best part of it, yes, the business opportunities were great, working on bigger projects, rah. But the best part was meeting so many other talented content creators who are hiring the space, or we were working on bigger production shoots where we could hire other content creators to help us with it. So we could hire gaffers, we could hire camera assistants, motion control teams, and we got
had
to
a robot.
we had yeah, exactly. So we just met so many cool people.
Yeah.
Like that.
It
Yeah,
was awesome.
it was insane.
Yeah.
But that's the story, right? And now
That's the overview of our journey in business. But who are you, Hoosie? Who are you? Do you want to know
15
when I?
minutes in, should we?
No,
should
no.
I-
Let's just I just want to say one thing about Hoosie's name, because like this is the first time you're ever going to be hearing it. It's Hoosie, Huzi, and if you ever want to remember it, this is how he said it to me. Just remember it as who is he?
Who is he?
Who is he?
Jesse used to call me the first, I want to say, 2 months of us knowing each other. I got a few names. So the first name was just Oi. And I thought that's just how she spoke. I didn't realize she didn't actually know how to pronounce my name until she had introduced me to someone. And she was like, Oi, yeah, so how do you actually pronounce your name? This was like a few months. And then
It was like a month in, and I was like, I looked at him, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, but how do you say your name again?
and then even after me telling her, I reckon a few weeks after that, you called me Jose.
No, it was who's I? My mum called you Jose. I was calling you Oi as well. I just couldn't get it. I could not get it. And every time because I'd overthink it as well. I knew it was Hoosie, but I'd just overthink it and I'd like say something else. But mum couldn't get it either.
Unbelievable. I got your name straight away.
Well, it's not that hard.
I know, but I'm just saying I did.
But yeah.
Um,
So if you want to remember Hoosie's name, just remember who is he.
who is he?
But yeah, I reckon we should
Or
wrap up
do you know
our...
what Australia? When I first moved to Australia, because I'm from New Zealand originally, but when I first moved here, they used to always say, "Who's he? What's he?"
Who's he? What's he? What's that mean?
I don't know. Can someone in the podcast please comment on
Who's he?
this
What's
clip
he?
and who's he? What's he? And everyone that I tell that to, who's like true blue, laughs like as if they know what the inside joke is, but no one's explained it to me.
I'm pretty true blue. Oh, listen to me say it like that too. I've never heard that in my life.
Who's he? What? No, you're true blue, but you're not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Like you don't do Australia things.
Australia.
Anyways, that was the first like overview.
We didn't come up
What's
with
the
a name.
What's the name? Jess, quick. We got like 10 minutes. Just come up with something.
It's so hard.
That's how I talk.
No, nah.
Because you always say that. I'm surprised
I
you didn't
like.
say it
What
today.
have you come as?
What have you come as? Hold on, wait. I prepared some notes.
What have you come as?
Oh, shit.
No, but you have to say it like that too. What have you come as?
Yeah,
I
but-
like that one.
Oh, what if we call it Currently Untitled?
Currently untitled.
Isn't that cool?
Eh.
Come, it's nice, eh? Okay,
It's
what
just a bit
have
underwhelming.
what have you come as?
You know what I'm thinking of?
Yeah, what?
You've got to think about what's going to look like on the logo. What is it going to
Oh
look
my
like
God.
aesthetically?
Big old graphic designer here.
I'm not a graphic designer, but I'm very creative. And I
Not dinner talk.
not dinner talk.
You stressing me out? No, I think you actually just said that to me.
Oh, that I said. Oh, you're stressing me.
Yeah, sorry. Something else.
I like big time maybe. Or
Not dinner talk. That's how I
what
talk.
have you come as? I like what have you come as. That's very fitting for us.
What have you come as? Can we like put up a poll on us? Or should we not do that, eh? Someone
But,
might
like,
smack it.
No, I think it's more so like we want to put out the first podcast and you got to have a name for it.
And we need a name for it, eh? Currently Untitled isn't great?
Eh.
Okay, we'll call it, what have you come as?
What have you come as?
The what have you come as? But like, think about great podcast names like Call Me Daddy,
Yeah, that's
Joe
great.
Rogan Experience. Okay, that's not that great. Flagrant.
That
Lex
podcast is great
Friedman.
though.
Call Me Daddy.
No, the Joe Rogan one.
Oh, that's an
Yeah.
amazing. That's the best. That's the
Yeah,
that's the only podcast I listen to right now.
but Call Me
Every
Daddy's a
day,
good name.
every episode, I listen to Joe Rogan.
I really like
okay,
these
so-
other two girls called After Work Drinks. They go on there and have a little banter.
Yeah, nearly weds. That's another one of my.
Nearly
faves.
or newly?
It's nearly weds because they're nearly married.
Oh,
Do you get it?
Oh, they're not married yet.
No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what it's called. Nearly, honey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
What if
great
we call it
names.
the Whoosy experience? Joe
How
Rogan
about
Experience.
fucking no?
What have you come as? I feel like that's too long, isn't it?
I guess we'll just have to report back on that. You know what? You'll find out the podcast name when we release the podcast. We are releasing this podcast, though.
Yeah, I think so. Even though we had some camera difficulties, we'll replace it.
We live and learn.
Yeah.
What have you come
What
as?
have you come as? Flagrant?
This is exhausting. Flagrant.
No, that's Andrew Schultz's one, and that's
No.
kind of a cool name, isn't it?
Flagrant. No.
What have you come as? Currently untitled.
Reminds me of Current Affair. You know, okay, hold on. Let's just we've got about 10 minutes before we're going to wrap this up.
We got 8.
Whatever. I think we look at like racehorsing names because like they've always got really good
They do.
race.
Remember
horsing.
Mackay v Diva?
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah. That's the only one I remember.
What was the point of the story?
I don't know. There was no point.
Let's have a little
We did want to
looky.
call it overexposed, but that's taken, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who the keeps calling me today? I think.
Oh my.
What have you come as?
What have you come as? Waffle
I've had,
House.
Like 8 phone calls. This is ridiculous.
Lollygagger.
Well, that sounds sexual. That sounds so
Rainbow
sexual. Is that a horse name?
Lollygagger. Lollygagger. I actually kind of like
Can't be
saying
right.
it. Lollygagger. Hello and welcome to Lollygagger. I can't
See,
even
if you
say
can't
it.
even say it.
I can't talk in the best of times. See, that sentence didn't make sense. Dixie.
Should we just circle back? You guys will see it when this episode is released. The name of the social handles,
Bottom
and
line.
the name on Spotify, and all that good stuff. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So today definitely was a bit of an overview. We're going to talk a lot more shit next time. So stay tuned for that.
Not
and
hard for Who's to talk
this-
shit. Sorry.
How dare you?
Well, thanks for listening to our first podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the first one. This will be available, I don't know, everywhere, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one. Well, we
See
won't
it.
see you, but you'll see us.
Yeah.
Or you'll hear us.
With the name.
With a name.
Currently untitled. All right, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.